All right, hello everyone. If anybody's here, hope you're having an excellent weekend, no matter what day it is. I know here in the Philippines it's Sunday. Back in the States it's Saturday night. So I am making a trip this week. So, but before I get into anything, I'm going to wait till a few people are here. I know this one's about living and travel budgets. I'll give you my thought on that. Uh, but not until people get here. We don't want to hide the pound. So we're waiting. Uh, I know last week's didn't go well. I know this week is a little better because I got, but I don't have anybody here. I don't know how long I'll go. Uh, we got somebody else in. I just don't know. Hello, whoever you are. Just say hi if you would, or give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're here about doing something. Uh, like I said, I'm looking to. Like I said, it's the travel budget that I'm talking about. Hey, Flip, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming. Yeah, I'm going over to Dumagetti again this week. I'm going over on Wednesday. For some reason, I had it stuck in my head that Tuesday was the second. In other words, Monday would be the first. Tuesday's the first. Wednesday's the second. Everything is scheduled to leave on Wednesday, which is actually a good thing. Yesterday, I went to pull some money out of HSBC Bank, and I was a little slow getting to my card, so it sucked it back in. I never got my money. It kept telling me to reinsert my card, but it had my card. Uh, so I got to go over on Tuesday and straighten that out. I thought I was going to have to wait till after I got back because I'm not coming back. I wouldn't be able to do that till the 19th. I'll get back on the 18th, but it's late in the evening. The bank will be closed by the time I get back. So I'll get up Tuesday morning, go over there to HSBC, go in. I'll have my passport and everything with me so I can prove who I am. I'll even show them my USA bank card because what they got was my credit card. Um, so hopefully I can get the card back and the money both. Um, that's what I would refer. Yeah, we are going to start getting more money. I just don't. Do you know when that's supposed to start, Flip? I, I they announce the increase usually in October, and it doesn't take effect till January. But I heard that they may kick it off and start it earlier. I don't know. Uh, I know I'll go up. I'm not going to say a lot, but beats a sharp stick in the eye because I don't have Part B. I've never had Part B because I was in the VA system. Jerry, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming. Uh, so yeah, like I said, I've never had Part B. All right, hey Tim, how you doing, man? Uh, like I was telling Flip here just a little bit ago, I am heading back over to Dumagetti. I'm leaving on Wednesday. Uh, I had it stuck in my head that for some reason that Tuesday was the second. It's, It's Tuesday the 1st, and but everything's scheduled for the second. My plane ticket, my travel tickets, my hotel, everything is scheduled for the second. So I had the right date in mind, the second, just the wrong day. Hey, how you doing, man? We appreciate you coming, Derek. Coin, how you doing, man? Coin, it's going to be a while. This will be my last trip until sometime next year. Uh, I'm one of these poor expats. I know compared to the Filipinos, I'm not poor, you know. Uh, but compared to the probably the average uh, expat, I'm on the lower end of the spectrum, and so I've overspent this year since I've been here. I've cut into my savings, so I got to stop after this trip, settle down, figure out what's going on. I won't do any traveling at all till sometime next year. Uh, Even if I decided I wanted to move to Dumaguete, it won't be till sometime at the earliest. It'll be next year. Um, and then it would be sometime after that before I travel again. Now, if I decided I don't want to move to Dumaguete, then I'll travel somewhere early next year. Uh, I am not sure. Yeah, Flip, but they're talking about that may be, that could be the case each time. Um, I, I, I never got I had the Part B when I first got Social Security, and they wanted me to pay so much money up front for 3 months. I don't know why that was, but that's what they wanted. And it's supposed to be by month. I do. I've been to Valencia, but I won't live in Valencia. But anyway, what happened was I went into the VA and I told them, and I said, okay, good. And I said, you don't want the information? And they said, no, we don't charge the government. Well, Part B, as you know, is your medical and stuff. And the VA's not going to take it, so it's like, I'm not paying you $100 and some a month and not be able to use you. I mean, you take that 100 and stick it back, and I've used, I've paid out of pocket less money than what 3 months of that COLA would Part B would have cost me for going out of the VA system. I went and had a couple COVID tests, not because I was afraid I had it. I was getting ready to travel with a friend who had elderly parents and wanted to make sure I didn't have COVID, so we could travel together and not have to wear a mask in the car. So I did that a couple times, and then I'm trying to remember what else it was, but I think like 2, maybe 3 times, and it didn't add up to what I would have paid for 3 months worth of Part B. So it was just silly to have it. Yeah, no, I wasn't late. They were surprised that they wanted me to pay 3 months in advance. But I applied on my birthday when I hit the legal age, 65. I didn't apply early, I didn't apply late, because I wasn't taking my Social Security. I was just applying for my Medicare at that time. I didn't take my Social Security until later, because the legal age for me was, I believe it was 66. So, no, I didn't apply late. I just went in and applied for my Medicare, or Medicaid, I can't remember what it is. But I went in and got it, and at the same time, I went ahead and applied for Part B, and because I think they wanted to charge me 3 months because I wasn't getting my Social Security. I wasn't taking it. It's like, I was gonna pay it, but when I found out that they wouldn't take Part B, I said, the heck with it. No sense me doing it. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing is about 3.8%. It's going to be a fairly large one, and but well, what's going on with the Social Security for us retired people? It's based on what a working person, not what a retired person's costs are. If they based it on what our cost would be, it would be a bigger increase because the things that affect us the most happens to be things that they don't put heavy weight on for the average person that's still working. But like I said, I was going to do the lifestyle versus travel budget, and you know, if you don't want to travel, then you can take more of your income and spend it on your lifestyle. If you do want to travel, unless you're one of the rich guys, which we do have here in the Philippines, we have some really rich expats here. Uh, you have to look at how much do you want to travel and what kind of comfort you want. I like a one-bedroom apartment. Uh, if I stay in Cebu and I decide to stay here for a couple of years or a year or more, because I'm still looking at getting, I'm still thinking seriously about getting the implants. Uh, I may have to cut back to a condo, studio, uh, for money. I mean, let's be honest about it. I could probably still do the condo, the studio here where I'm at, but you throw in the, I just don't know if it'd be worth it to stay here for another year at this place if I'm going to do that, and if I have to be here while I'm doing that. So that's why I said I'm going to make this trip. I'm pretty sure that I've already been to Dumaguete. I really like Dumaguete. That's pretty good, Coin. I wish I'd invested some money, but I wasn't bright enough to do that. So, like I said, that's something you have to take in consideration. Another thing you have to take in consideration with where you live is what kind of amenities you want. What kind of goodies around you. Do you want Western food? Do you want easy access to travel, which you have here in Cebu? Do you want peace and quiet? Maybe you want to live out in the province. That's not for me. How important is healthcare? Which for me is an important aspect of where I want to live. Doing gay, the first impression was of the boulevard. Oh, I love the boulevard. Now I was only down there once during the day, and I didn't take any videos when I was down there during the day. And I was down there that night that I put all those videos up about. That was a Friday night. That was, from my understanding, that was just a typical Friday night. Stuff going on. They have food and all that going on, like every Friday and Saturday. And when the sun goes down, the breeze coming off the ocean, absolutely gorgeous down there. So I know where I'll spend a lot of time in the evening if I want to go out and not spend a lot of money. I can go there, walk around, watch the people running, jogging, playing ball, uh, badminton, whatever, during the week. Because, like I said, that's what you saw on my videos was a Friday night. It is. It's a nice place. But, is it for me? You got to remember that was my first time there. A lot of times when you go somewhere first, uh, yeah, there's a lot of. I met quite a few expats, and I found them to be more friendly in Dumaguete than here in Cebu City. Uh, I think the ones here in Cebu City, they want to know that you have something in common. Uh, they kind of a little more cliquish, uh, which you can join by going to the meetups and getting to know a few people. So you can pick up people, friends that way and do things. But like I said, when I was in Dumaguete, uh, I was eating breakfast at the hotel, and all the tables were taken, but there was a few empty seats with these other expats. I asked if I could sit. They said sure. This is a Saturday. They were planning on going yeah, we'll see, Coin. We'll see. But anyway, I was talking with them a little bit, and they said, well, we're going to go for a bike ride up. I said, we know where you can rent a bike if you want to go. And I already had planned, so I had to turn it down. Well, I did that. I had some friends pick me up that evening. We went out. They had some friends that play in a band, and there was going to be a bunch of their friends at the Restro Bar. And they asked me if I wanted to go with them. I said sure. So they picked me up from the hotel, and we went out there, and I was sitting at a big table full of people I didn't know, but they were friends with my friends. I talked to a few and got to know them and a little bit, and band was pretty good. And this one guy, I've told this story I think before. I'm not looking for a bike at all. If I live in Dumaguete, I'll take the trike until I want to, if I get a bike, I want one with a backrest. I have a bad back, and it's mainly because I've not been doing anything. Uh, I rode on a bike, motorcycle taxi here, a hobble, I think they call them, and we didn't go real far, but my back was bothering me. So I decided I'm not. Plus, after that, the guy I had as the driver or rider, whatever you want to call him, the taxi, the bike hobble driver. Uh, yeah, I know, Flip. Uh, he drove fairly sensible, in my opinion. I mean, he took a couple moves that I wouldn't have done, but they were not that bad. But I've seen guys, these hobble drivers, driving in the lane going the wrong direction to pass people, drive up on the sidewalk, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that again. Even if my back didn't bother me, I don't trust those guys. I just don't care for that kind of ride. I prefer somebody that takes the time and thinks about safety. Um, and like I said, and plus, in Dumaguete, the tricycles, they're not that expensive. You can 15, 20 pesos, you can go in almost anywhere in the city. So it's no big whoop. And oh no, grab cars is nowhere near as cheap as a trike. Believe me, I take grab cars here. There's no grab car in Dumaguete. They don't have a grab car. So it's either trike or uh, uh, hobble hobble or the jeepneys. Yeah. Dumaguete does get flooding in certain areas. I've been told they do get flooding in some of the low-lying areas, but they don't. Yeah, they're pretty much protected from typhoons, but they are susceptible to earthquakes and other things. So you got to take what you get. Uh, they might be just as cheap there, but they're not. There is no grab car in like I said, in Dumaguete, and there are no trikes in Cebu. And to go the distance I go in Dumaguete cost me 20 pesos. When I leave my apartment to go to the terraces, I really like to go over to the terraces. And depending on the time of day, it can be, $2 US to over $3 US, depending on the time. Well, Derek, I'd rather not face a typhoon. If I had to choose between a typhoon, and I'm talking about, I have to face one. I'd face Trump. But I'd rather not deal with politics. I've tried to leave. That's why I came over here, is get away from it. There are too many idiots on both sides. Uh, Jerry leaving? Hey, Jerry, take care now. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Yeah, I know. If I do a live stream, Jerry, in Dumaguete, it'll be Sunday night here, so it'll be Sunday morning there. If I do one, I've been debating on it because I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. Christy, how you doing? Thanks for coming. That's all right, Derek. Just like I said, I just I won't say all of us, but a lot of us expats over here, we don't. I've not really talked with any expat about politics. Uh, it's, it's just something I haven't talked with anybody about. I'm over here. Uh, I'm not voting this fall. Uh, I I haven't registered. I'd have to apply to vote overseas, and I haven't reported that I'm living over here. My banks both know I'm over here, and Social Security knows I'm over here uh, for right now. So, uh, it's just like politics can, uh, depending on the people. Some people get very heated if you disagree with them, and that's on both sides of the aisle. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying one side's better than the other because they're not, but it's the person. No, not, Tim, it's just not worth it, man. Uh, I got people in here I know that have different policies uh, than I do, but that's fine. I mean, I don't get into politics. We do have a few that say something, but that's their business. Uh, I just, like I said, I'm not voting this year. Uh, I don't know who Scotland Best is, but like I said, I'm not following politics right now. I see clips here and there on YouTube, and you know, you got to remember who you're watching because both sides, each sides have certain channels that are biased. Fox News is biased. CNN's biased, although they're trying to get a little more non-biased. But MSNBC is biased. You know, most of them have a bias, and so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to, you know. Yeah, I know Scotland's ruled by England, and so is Ireland. But it just, you know, it's not something that, like I said, we could talk about the European politics too, and there's some wacky ones over there, and it depends on you. Well, like I said, then your cable TV provider either didn't come to an agreement with Fox or they're biased. I mean, you know, you should be able to watch whatever news program you want. If you want to watch Fox, you should be able to watch it. If you want to watch CNN, you should be able to watch it. I don't think the TV provider should have that. Now, occasionally they have a contract dispute on how much money somebody should get or how much they should pay, because these news organizations, they get paid to be on those programs. And so there could be a contract dispute. And I can understand removing it from contract dispute. Uh, but if you're removing it because you don't agree with their politics, then you shouldn't be allowed to do that. And if you try to demand a high thing so you can have a reason and you're charging them quite a bit more than their competitors, that should be illegal as well. That's my opinion. Like I said, I think you should be able to watch what you want, uh, as long as it's legal content, um, and you're of the age to be able to watch it. I mean, there are programs that are not suitable for young children, and you know, you should be able to restrict them. Uh, like adult content. You know, I don't know if Playboy still has a channel or not. Uh, you have adult channels. You should have to be of legal age in whatever state or country you live in to watch it. I appreciate that, Derek. Uh, I couldn't do it earlier for a couple different reasons. One, I was getting myself out of debt. I used to always overspend. And then I get myself out of debt, then I would go back to overspending. I did that most of my life. And the other reason was my mother was still alive. My mom lived till March last year, and she passed away in March at 99. She turned 99 in January last year. And I had just re-signed my lease for another year at the end of February because that's when my lease ran out. My mom was still alive, so I signed another year. And so I had to work that next year, which worked out because it let me save more money. And like I said, If I'd have tried to jump before that, it's been really tough. Hey Dan, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming. And so it's been really tough if I tried to jump before I jumped. I even thought about trying to work another year to save a little more money. If I could have signed a 6 month contract, I'd have stayed 6 more months and worked that. But no, it was, the lease was either, I'm not even sure if I could do, no, I couldn't do 6 months. It had to be a year. It's either a year or month to month. And every month my rent went up. And I was later than that, Tim. I was still trying to pay off bills during the pandemic. Believe me, I was deeply in debt. But that's when I started getting myself straightened out. I got used to staying at home. I rarely went out to eat. Most of the time I'd order, either have it delivered or go pick it up and bring it home. After that, I mean, uh, I don't really go to movies because I don't care for most of the movies that come out with. Uh, I'm not a person that goes to bars anymore. I gave that stuff up years and years ago. Uh, I quit going to bars back in '99. Okay? That's how long, unless somebody else is driving, or I'm at a hotel, I'm spending the night, I might go down and have a cocktail or two. Not, I haven't had two yet. I might have a cocktail or a beer, and that'd be it. Go down and have one with my meal, and go back to my room, and that's it. It's like that restaurant bar I went to. I had a beer. First time I had a beer in a couple of years. I just don't drink much anymore. So I'm not spending my money that way. Um, yeah, uh, I wasn't quite that bad, but I was, for my income, I was, I was in there. I was in the tens of thousands, yeah. Uh, Probably over 20,000 myself. And like I said, I slowly, I'll tell you what, if I knew the pandemic was coming when it hit, I would have waited another year to take my Social Security. One of the reasons I got out of debt as quick as I did was because I had my Social Security and my the, all the overtime I was working during the pandemic because I worked at well, it was Delphi, which is no longer in existence in the States. I think it is still over in Europe. But Delphi was an automotive parts store, and so anyway, uh, which was at one time was part of GM. GM spun them off, but we were still under the same kind of contract. You had to be assigned to Delphi to work there. They couldn't bring in outside help. Only us guards that worked there for Delphi could work. And so we were 2 to 3 people short the whole year during pandemic because that year they were planning on selling the business off. They were already planning on selling it off. And the contract was only good till the end of the year. So anytime they'd bring somebody in to train them, they'd find out what's going on. They'd leave. They, don't want to deal with this because in a year you're looking for another job anyway. And sometimes it was just too far for them to drive, whatever. Uh, so we were short. I was working anywhere from 60 to I think I've worked over 90 hours in 1 week, 60 hours to 90 some hours a week. I don't think I ever worked just 40 during that whole time. I think it was the minimum was 60. So I was making some good bank and putting a big dent in my debt. But like I said, I hadn't yet started straightening myself out spending money. Because I'd still, after I get it paid off, I still went back into debt. So I'd get out of debt, go back into debt, get out of debt, and go back into debt. And once Delphi shut down, I moved down to Waterville, New York, which is right outside of Albany. And I was stupid on spending my money this way too. I kept two apartments for too long. I should have got out of the other apartment a lot quicker, but I kept paying, going back and forth, moved myself. I moved everything myself. And I swore to God that's the last time I'm doing that. I'm not going to buy a place. But you got to remember now, Dan and Mad Minnie's different. Mad Minnie wanted a house, and she paid for almost the whole house. So, you know. No, I'm not. You can't buy property, Derek, in the Philippines unless you're married to a Filipina, and then it's got to be in her name, or Filipino if you're a female and married, or, but it's got to be in a Filipino's name, whether it's Filipina or Filipino. Property you can't, as a expat, you can't own property. Now you can own the house, and you can rent the property. So let's say I'm 72, I'll be 73 next month. So let's say I decided I wanted a house. I can go into an agreement with somebody where I rent the property 25 years, which will probably be longer than I'll live, all right? And I build a home on there. Now once I pass away, the home will probably go back to them. Because unless I have it in there that my family can use it for X number of years, you know. So, do you want to do that? Is it worth it in the long run, especially at my age, to do that? I know, Dan, I remember you discussing that. You just paid off the last little bit, so it could be paid for. And you can move. Retire and get the heck out of there. I don't blame you one bit. Like I said, I have enjoyed my retirement so far, even though, like I said, I've stayed in this apartment 3-4 days in a row. And the only time I go downstairs is either to take my laundry down or to go down and pick up food that I've had delivered or pick up a package that's been delivered. Like this hat to come in, let's see. Got this hat and this hat all this week. So this one's a 250-year anniversary of the United States. So this is just Navy veteran. My Navy hat that I had that said ship serviceman, well, I think I said the United States Navy ship service in 1972 over here, 1978 over here. Um, Showed, in other words, it was showing the years I served and my rate. Well, not my rate, my job code. Um, oh yeah, my rate, not my rank. I didn't have my rank on there, just my rate. So, and I left that in Dumagetti last time I was there. I think I left it at the uh, McDonald's that I was at meeting with a couple expats I'd met that invited me to join them for breakfast every day. And I went over there a couple of days, and then I was there the last day. Left, went back, got packed up. I started searching. I couldn't find my hat. It wasn't anywhere in the hotel. So it was like, okay, well, I left it and I didn't have time to go back and get it. I had to get to the airport and make sure I was ready to go. Now, Dan, have you been to Dumaguete? Do you really, like I said, I'm going to enjoy going back and seeing it. But like I said, I'm leaning towards getting this done, getting the implants. I like the way the dentures, the partial looks, but I really don't like eating certain things with it in. And if I get the implants, I'll just eat I don't know what kind of trouble I have with that, but I can eat anything I want. There's certain things that's a little tough to chew, tougher meat's a little tougher to chew with those in, so I have to chew it over here anyway. And so I just I take them out usually when I eat, not always. If I know what I'm going to have to eat and know it won't really mess with the teeth that much, I'll put some dental grip in there and put them in and leave them in while I eat. Okay, all right, Tim. I'm sorry, Derek. All my real long-time followers know that I used to have a bridge in there, and what happened was they were attached. The bridge was attached to two live teeth, and I had it for years, and I'm eating it every day, and eat what I want, no problem. And then one day, I bit into a carrot trying to eat healthy, and one of the teeth breaks. So I'm trying to figure out what was going on. Did it break? Just come loose? What was going on? Then the other tooth broke and it came out. I could see the teeth had rotted, but you couldn't tell from the front. It was in the back, and it caused no pain. Even after they were out, no pain. I got a tooth down here that needs to be cut out. I've had it for years. I can eat hot, I can eat cold, I can crunch ice. Doesn't cause me any pain. So I don't know if that's just me or if if I'm lucky that I don't have the dental problems that some other people have. Some people when they have cavities, it's excruciating pain. I don't get that. I really don't. Back in the States, if I was having a tooth filled, I didn't take Novocaine. Now, if they had gas, I might take gas, but I didn't usually even take that. Just go ahead and fill it. Oh, that's where your next trip's going to be, huh? I don't blame you. I know you guys like Cambodia. Uh, so right now, I can find a one-bedroom apartment in Dumaguete For about half of what I'm paying here. So I can, say that's quite a bit of money. Now, I may not like the ones that I have, but I can save, in U.S. dollars, I can save well over 100 to $200 a month, maybe more, in rent. Well, that's a lot of cash, especially for those of us that are on the lower end. Um, I am on the lower end of Social Security. I'm not at the bottom. There's people make a lot less money than me on Social Security. I got a buddy that's coming over at the end of next month, and uh, you know, and he's not at the bottom. And there's people over here have less money than he has. But it all depends. He's hoping to find a place, but he's looking for a studio, another one bedroom, and he's looked at some of the places that that they show in the range that he can afford, and he likes them. And so if he can find one of those, if they're available when he gets here, uh, hopefully he'll find a place he wants that he likes. Uh, he'll have the money to set it up and get to getting. But yeah, I'll be back before he gets here. So I did buy him a retirement gift for him. But someday I'll show you guys what I got him because I bought one for myself. And so, matter of fact, let's see. Right here. Let me pull that out. Never know, he could be watching, which is fine. I already told him I had it for him. It's a tumbler for adult beverages. Although for me it'll be for Coke. Or display, I don't know yet. Every sip tastes like it's not my problem anymore. Retired 2026. And did not see these in any other years. I thought of someone I think that would really like one of these. And I looked at it and see where you get a different year. And like I said, I got two of them. They're exactly the same. And all right, Derek, thanks for coming, man. We appreciate it. You have a good one. Uh, but yeah, we're enjoying it right now, the retirement. I have not missed getting up in the morning and going to work. I miss some of the people I worked with. The last group I worked with, Jeff and Phil, who Phil's the one that's coming over, were great people. Jeff and I had different political views, but we got along quite well. We understood that the other one thought something different, and that was it. And I actually liked Jeff quite a bit. He seemed to like me. He's the one that got me that Navy mug for my retirement gift. I got it set up on the shelf over there. So, yeah, it's going, you know, everything's going good. But like I said, for me, if I want to travel much at all, I got to cut back on money. Now, if I stay here, I may need to cut back on living space, cut back on money. But that's just to make it a little more affordable here. Uh, Maybe I'll move into a bubble area and get a condo. I mean, a studio. They're cheaper than this apartment. Uh, but only if I decide to stay here long term. Going to do tourist stuff this time, huh? Which side of Canada are you going to, Tim? You going over by Vancouver or over around Toronto, Ontario area? I've been to both places. I was, Vancouver, Canada was a really nice city when I was there back in, what was that, 76, if I remember right, 76. That's when I got transferred to the Long Beach, and she was in dry dock in Bremerton, Washington, and myself and a couple of buddies, we took a bus up to Toronto and spent the night, spent the day and night and basically the weekend. A couple of the guys that went up with us, they came back a day earlier than me and Burton, and it was a nice place, great place for drinking. I've been to Toronto, I've been to Montreal, both. Okay, like I said, Vancouver is a gorgeous area. Seattle used to be a gorgeous city. I don't know if it still is or not. Seattle used to be a gorgeous city. Used to take the ferry across from Bremerton, Washington, over to Seattle, and you could drive that a bridge, but I didn't have a car and had to go a long way around. Yeah, I know, Dan. It's a long weekend. Uh, is it tomorrow or is it Monday? Oh, today's Sunday. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Thinking Saturday today. I've been off all week, man. I kept thinking that Tuesday was going to be the second, and because I said this earlier, but Dad, I don't think you were here. I was at HSBC today to pull out some money for my trip, and I was reading this card instead of paying attention, and probably my credit card came out and got sucked back in because I didn't take it out, so it didn't disperse the cash, and it kept telling me to reinsert my card, and I didn't have my card. Never got my cash. So they were telling me I had to come back on Tuesday to get everything. And I'm thinking, no, I'm going to be gone. I mean, because I was thinking Tuesday was the second. For whatever crazy reason, I had it in my head all week that Tuesday was the day I was going. And I looked at the calendar and it's like, no, the second's Wednesday. So I checked my paperwork for my plane ticket and everything else to make sure it was for the second, because I had Tuesday for some reason stuck on my head, and no, all my paperwork was for the second. So well, the middle of next month, the 16th, I'll be 73 years old, so I'll be in Dumaguete for my birthday, but it's not a big deal. It's not like when you hit 70 or when you get older, not every year the birthday means that much. Yeah, Yeah. I got to pull some money out on Tuesday to have some money with to make sure I got money. Hopefully, I can get my card and my money both. Uh, we'll see. Um, but even if I don't, I got to pull more money out. I mean, I I don't have enough money to be going over there and saying, "Oh, I'm comfortable with this amount of money on me." I don't have that kind of money on me. Um, I do have money, and I could always use my card, but I would rather have more money. Because one of the things I want to do is from the hotel, I'll probably walk around a couple different directions, do some videos showing the area as I'm walking. Uh, Maybe do a daylight walk on the boulevard. I want to go to a couple neighborhoods that have apartment buildings and that might be interesting to live in and walk around that area and show. I don't know how many videos I'll do of that, but walk. I want to walk around, see what it feels like. I'll do North Point. I'll do a couple other places. Uh, yeah, I know it's National Heroes Day. Yeah, because I asked someone what the holiday was. Because I went down and I paid my rent for September, and then my bills for July. You know, I've got to pay my electricity and all that bill. But the rent was for next month. And so I went down to pay for that today because I was told I could do it. Well, yesterday, excuse me. I went down yesterday to do it because they told me to be available and I could pay it on Saturday. I decided to go out and try to pull some money out. So I thought, well, while I'm here, I'll just stop in, pay the bill. And I went in, and one of the girls that worked in the office, she wasn't around, but the main lady was. And I said, well, where's the little one? I call her name is Rena. And I call her little one. And she goes, oh, she went home to Bohol because it's a holiday. So what holiday is it? Oh, it's National Heroes Day, Monday. Well, okay, long weekend. She's from Bohol. She wanted to go home and visit her family. Makes perfect sense to me. So I went ahead and paid my bills. So that's all taken care of. But that cut into my cash. But I had it for that reason. And so I went and, like I said, went to pull that boner. Now I gotta, hopefully, I should get my card back, but hopefully I can get the cash too. Well, Dan, I don't know if it's a sweet spot or not, but it's a good spot to be in compared to other spots, such as both my brothers have passed away a long time ago. I'm above ground, not below ground, so I'm doing well. I still have most of my health. I am a diabetic, so I don't have all my health. But have most of my health. So we're trying to stay better, but you know, things are what they are. Well, Tim, I would love to be able to. I would have loved to have been able to come over here at a younger age. But like I said, my own stupidity plus my mother, I wouldn't have done it. If I could have done it, maybe at 55 or 60, I probably would have came over. My mom was still in pretty good health. But by the time I hit 65, 66, that's when everything went to heck in a handbasket. She had dementia and it got worse. For a long, she had dementia, we found out, since 1986. But it was just she'd forget something for a little bit and then she'd remember. And so it was just like we thought, well, she's getting older. She's having a senior moment. So she was able to hide it real well until we had to put her into the nursing home. She was still hiding it pretty good. And she was in her early 90s, so maybe mid 90s, somewhere in there. We had to put her in the nursing home because she kept falling. To be 65 again. Or to have my health of 50 again would be better. Say this age, just be as healthy as I was at 50, or because I wasn't even diabetic yet at 50. So 45, 50, yeah, give me that health back. Yeah, wasn't diabetic, didn't didn't have this problem. Well, at 45, yeah, 45, no, I still had all my own teeth. Although a couple were loose. I should have got braces. That might have saved them. But I didn't. That's my fault. But yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I'm looking forward to going over. Um, I'm spending more money than I really should because I'm flying, but I'm still not sure about how reliable the ferry's going to be this time of year. When I was coming back from Toomey the last time, one of the guys I knew that I'd met there that was at the McDonald's said he had checked and the ferry was canceled. The weather was really nice in Cebu. I mean in Dumaguete. It was canceled because of rough water over in Cebu. So that's my fear. Once I maybe don't have to go at a certain time, it can be a little more flexible. I'll take the ferry because it's the cheaper way to go. I may just take the Ro-Ro. But how do I want to take the Ro-Ro? Do I want to use the bus? Do I want? See, if I take the Ro-Ro, I want that cabin, that VIP cabin. I want it. So if I can't take the bus to do it, that's fine. I can always call a Grab once I get to Cebu. So, but I wouldn't mind taking the fast ferry as well sometime, doing both. I might try to just do the fast ferry if I move to Dumaguete, between Dumaguete and Cebu, and take the Ro-Ro to places like Bye Bye to visit Dan and Minnie. Maybe to Luzon. That might be a little longer ride than I want. I'll have to find out. I need to go down to Val sometime and visit Danny and Jamie down there sometime. I want to go up and see Tim and Angeles. And I do want to eventually sometime, if I'm healthy enough, I want to go up to Manila. I want to go see the Venice Grand Canal Mall. I want to see the World War II cemetery. I'll do the same thing when I'm visiting Tim. Tim says they got one near him. Uh, so, maybe one of these days I'll go see Civic Bay. I don't know. Hey, Danny, how you doing? Not too bad. I had a cold or something before. It seems to have broken, and so I'm doing well. Uh, as I was discussing lifestyle and travel, I have to change my lifestyle. Either I have to move to like Dumaguete or somewhere that's cheaper to get a one bedroom apartment and still maintain this lifestyle here, or I'll have to get into a studio if I stay here. Um, I need to cut back on the money I'm spending. Um, so that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to get that figured out. I'm going, and plus, I still gotta. One of the reasons I'm not going anywhere till after next year, I gotta meet up with the doctor, the dentist at Apple Dental, or Green Apple, excuse me, Green Apple, and discuss the implants. I think I'm gonna go with the implants. Uh, I will have to do some discussion with them. I may not. I want to find out the practicality of them. I know that be able to chew things a lot better and all that. Let me take that off. And that kind of stuff. But that's where we're at right now, trying to get that figured out. I'm going back over, and what I'm going to do is I want to go to different, take a trike out to some of these apartment complex or condo complex, or maybe gated complexes, to see what would be right outside there, what I could walk to, how walkable is it. Uh, One of the things I think would be a little more accessible in Dumaguete than it is where I'm at, especially where I'm living right now. I'd be able to walk to places to get fresh fruit. I love watermelon, but it's hard to. I try ordering it, and they're always out from Landers. Uh, I got some the last time, but I want places I can walk to, and where I'm at right now, the things I can walk to easily. Uh, you got a coffee place, a barber shop, and a nail salon. That's it. I have to walk on some uneven roads with. I can do it, but I have to walk to Landers, which is well over that's over half a mile from where I live. I don't want to have to walk that far. I mean, it's one thing to do it because you feel like, getting out and taking a walk. Uh, like if I go to the boulevard, I'm going to be walking more than I would just to get, somewhere else. But, I want to be able to just say, hey, I'm going to sit down, relax. I'm going to walk 2, 3 blocks, maybe 4 or 5 blocks, something like that. And I'm going to be at a really good restaurant. I'm going to be at a 7-Eleven. I'm going to be somewhere that I can do something and still enjoy myself and still have a nice apartment. Be in an area, I'll try to find out which areas are flood prone. Because Dumaguete has some flat areas and closer to the rivers, and they have a tendency to flood when it rains, if it rains a lot. It doesn't do it all the time, but it has that tendency to do it. That area would be the one that would flood. So I want to try to stay out of that area. Um, so that's the things I want to be trying to check out this time. Uh, I'll probably meet up with a couple of friends. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what's going on. But the main reason for this, the main reason I'm going where I'm going is to meet up with them. They have something going on. And the other reason is, like I said, I want to check this stuff out. And so I got to find out. And then I got to find out what I'm going to do with this. How often would I have to come back over? Because if I have to come back over a lot, it may not be worth moving over there until after I have this done. So, if I decide to go ahead and have the implants put in. Because if I'm coming back over every month for, let's say, a week, it's not worth moving over there. Maybe later, but not while this, if I go with the implants, not until the implants are done. So I might look for a place, I might have to sign a 6 or 1 year lease to get something that's more affordable than here. And so, like I said, I may have to sacrifice lifestyle for a while to get what I want done, and then maybe go to lifestyle, but in a different location. I'm sorry to hear that. I know you said, it's pretty bad over there. But, so yeah, we're just still trying to figure out what we want to do, and I kind of lean toward what I want to do. I want to lean one or two ways. If I can find a much less expensive 1 bedroom here in Cebu in an area that I could walk, like a minor expat area, I would do it, at least for now. And not worry, like I said, because I got this coming up, and that would let me travel to a couple other places before making the final decision. Because right now the only place I've been is Dumaguete. I really like Dumaguete. But, what about Iloilo? Although I hear it's going up in cost. Davao City, it's pretty far south. You're out of the typhoon path most of the time. But how easy is it to travel from there? Do you have to fly everywhere? So like I said, those areas I want to check out. And I want to visit Cerdan and Manamini. And who knows, maybe I'll check out Ormoc. That's good there, Tim. Glad you hear that you haven't had any flooding there. But yeah, so like I said, I would really like to find a place that I can afford, and if it isn't the place I want to live, a place I can afford and be able to travel from, check out the other places. So like I said, what I'm looking for is my happy. Now my happy probably won't be yours. My happy is, it may be, I'm not saying, because there's a lot of people like Dumaguete, and I like Dumaguete, so I may end up there. My happy is peace and quiet. And I don't mean cats and dogs or roosters, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when I can walk outside and walk around and it's not so overpowering like a large city. Uh, Maybe in the bubble area I could do that here, but I don't know how much more I would enjoy that than. But in the in Dumaguete, yeah, there's a lot of people out walking, not a lot of traffic, but it seems at least during the working hours, it seems a lot more calm to me. Like I said, if you want, you could always go down to the boulevard. There's places to sit and have something to drink or eat, and I'm yes, adult cocktails, but I'm also talking Coke Zero. Like, there's a Bose down there. I think there's a Starbucks down there somewhere as well. And there's places to get something to eat. Uh, and if you want to walk on the boulevard, there's places that when you want to take a break, you can sit underneath some of those big trees in shade, and if the breeze is blowing, it's quite nice. Like I said, I've been down there during the day. Had a guy going around, and he was selling ice cream, or the dirty ice cream, whatever they call it, I don't know. But it was ice cream, and I bought a cone from him. Paid him a little extra. And, you know, he went on his way. So yeah, I found it very pleasant. Like I said, for me, well, I understand that. I hope it stops raining and it clears up. Especially so your girlfriend can get to Manila for the medical. But like I said, I like walking to a place to have a cup of coffee. I don't need to do that every day. I do make coffee here at the house, so I don't go out every day for coffee. But I like the ability to do it. I like the ability to go out and get a bite to eat. I don't do that every day, but I want a place close enough that I can walk and do that. That's one of the things here. That coffee shop is not going to have the kind of food. It'll have probably snacks, like most coffee places. But is it going to be what you want to eat? I'm not going to say it has to be American food, but it's got to be, because I do like some of the Filipino food, especially the lumpia Shanghai. But I do like some of their soup. I had it's a shrimp-based beans with hot peppers, and it usually comes with shrimp. There's one restaurant I go to, they take the shrimp out. I don't mind the shrimp paste because I don't get that much of it, and it just adds a little flavor. But I'm not into eating shrimp. One of these days I'll have to try it, but all I've ever had was, I don't even know if I ate it, was breaded shrimp when I worked at Bonanza, the steakhouse back in Indiana when I was a teenager. It was, yeah, Tim, but like I said, you got a truck driver on call, and it's not that, like I said, the coffee shop's walking distance. But that's the only thing I got. I mean, I need a barber shop, what, once a month? My nails done maybe once a month. You know, it's not like I need that stuff a lot. And from the guards I'm talking to that work this building, they say that the coffee is overpriced. And it could be because it's the only place that probably has good coffee in this area. because to get to a coffee place, beyond them, I know if I go towards uh, business park, I gotta walk clear to the business park. Now I can stop and get at Landers and get a bite to eat. That's over a half a mile away, like I said. So I could stop there, but I don't think I'd want their coffee. I'd probably be a soda there. Uh, yeah. So, Timmy Horton, I hadn't been to Timmy Horton since I left New York. I haven't seen a Timmy Horton. I know, I think, now Tim, there's a Tim Hortons in your area too, isn't there? But there's none that I know of here, unless it's in IT Park, but I haven't heard of it. But there's a place called Classic Savior. Not Savior. Yeah, Savior. I'm trying to think, but it's a very good place to eat. I know they got one of those in New Maggette at the main mall. Uh, but I don't know if I'll live that close to the mall. Yeah, they got one main mall, one big one, then they got a couple small malls in Dumaguete. But the main one, the one with the movie theater and all that, is the main mall, and it's pretty large. It has, yeah, but I like the food there, Coin. I've only ate there once, and that was over at the SM City. Um, so I'll have to go back next time I go back over that way. I'll eat there again. They had the beef stew. Oh man, it was good. And I think if I remember right, Coin's in Cavite area. If I remember right, he's up in Cavite somewhere. Uh, which would be an area if I decided to move to Luzon that I would consider Cavite. I would want to be outside the city. I wouldn't want to be too far away. But I don't think I want to live inside a large city. And I know in Manila I can't afford uh, to live the way I'd want to live in BGC. There's just no way I could do it. That's maybe in Makati. I'd have to be out of farther away from BGC, but in Makati I might be able to afford it. Now, Quezon maybe, but now Corn. No, but are you in Cavite or are you somewhere else? Yeah, Tim, that's what I'm saying. Uh, I'm a poor expat. I can't live there. I don't even know if I can afford a studio there. I might be able to, but like I said, I wouldn't be able to do too much. Too much. All right, but that's fine. I don't mind that. Uh, you go to Maggette, you can walk around and not see any other foreigners, or not, or very few, and you don't. It's not like going to BGC or the bubble area here, Business Park or IT. Novella? Okay. But, it just, uh, I'm trying to remember the name of the town that Steve or Steven, he used to do the expat channel, Philippine expat channel. Uh, he lives in Cavite area. Um, I can't remember the name of the city he lived in, but he wasn't too far from Tagaytay or Manila either. But he lived in Cavite area, so it's one of the cities there. Uh, I guess you could drive it in a short period of time, but you can take a bus, it takes you longer. Well, Tim, like I said, I'm not living in the bubble here. Uh, if I do move to the bubble, it'll be if I can lower my cost. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Uh, well, you can add a few thousand to that, and you'll get to where I'm at. Uh, I'm paying 30. Uh, so, like I said, I'd like to cut that back. Like I said, I can. There's nothing wrong with dressing to impress, but not what Tim was saying. He's saying he doesn't need to live in a certain area to impress people. He'd rather save the money. I dress the way I dress. For some people, might be impressive because I wear a lot of shirts. Not all my shirts, but a lot of my shirts have collars. I do have T-shirts I like to wear once in a while. Uh, One of my new favorites is the one I got that says uh, University I'm Done, Class of 2026, Department Retirement. Yeah, I got that one. I like that one. Then I got an old favorite. It's got Popeye on the back and talking about how he's a enlistment hasn't expired, you know, not his enlistment, his, I'm trying to think of how it reads. I had two and I only brought one. One didn't have Pi. But I'm saying, you know, he's proud of his service, and if you don't like it, you know what you can do with it. What's that, Omega? That's not a bad price, like I said. I don't think I'd want a house, because I'm single. Uh, and I'm not looking to date right now. I don't know if I'll ever look to date. Because like I said, I'm wanting to find my happiness. And if you're dating some woman, then you got to take her feelings in consideration. And that's not happening. I'm looking for my happiness. And then maybe I'll start looking for a girlfriend sometime after I've been there for a while and know that I want to stay there. Uh, so it'll be a while before that happens. Unless I meet some woman that just knocks me off my feet. And I haven't met that woman yet. But yeah, we're still struggling to find out what I want to do. If I can find my happy place and really, really love it there, I'll probably try to go for an SRRV, just so I don't have to renew the visa every 2 months, or after 3 years run out of the country and come back in. I just really don't want to do that. I don't want to stay here permanently on just a tourist visa. I can do it. I don't want to do it if I don't have to. That's a good price there too, Tim. Like I said, I'm looking for my happy. I don't know where it's going to be. I do know I want to get a hospital around. Clark area has that. Uh, Elo has that. Of those two probably have the best outside of Cebu. Those two probably have the best hospitals. Dumaghetti's got a couple good ones, but I don't think they're in quite the same league as Clark and Elo. I know Elo's hospitals. Uh, if you're on, because I've watched this one blogger a few times. He's retired Air Force, I believe, and he uses his what is that TRICARE at the hospital there in Elo, and so if the VA's saying it's a good hospital, that they'll pay you to, then I think it's a good hospital. And I've heard other people say it's a really good hospital. So, like I said, those are probably the two best hospitals. Dumaghetti's got a couple good ones, but I don't think they're quite the same. Although the one may be, I just haven't heard that about the Ace Hospital. I don't know how good that one is. I know it's supposed to be pretty good, but if it's as good as Elo's and Clark's, I don't know. You got from the videos I've seen, he's got a gorgeous airport. Uh, Actually, right now, I don't have any hobbies that I'm uh, watching YouTube, movies. I, I used to shoot pool. I haven't shot pool in a long time. Uh, but like I said, I'm comfortable. A lot of people aren't, but I'm comfortable staying in the house for 2, 3, 4 days. It doesn't bother me. I want to get somewhere where I'll get out and walk. I like to walk, uh, but I have bad arches, especially on my right foot. I think I damaged it, and so I don't get to walk as much as I'd like. And I'd like to get back into it. I used to walk, go out and walk for an hour, a half an hour without stopping, or an hour. It just depends on what was going on and where I was at. I used to go to the parks in Walter, in the Colony area, which is the colony, the, listen to me. The, I know the terms are not what comes to my mind. The county. I don't know if that's what they call it there in New York, but where I'm from is county. Colony is where I lived in that area, and there was a lot of nice parks to go walking in. Now I had to drive to them. I could walk them. Sometimes I just walked around my apartment complex. I used to just go out and walk almost every day, when the weather's nice. Uh, if you're talking about shooting guns, uh, I'm not very good. I haven't shot a gun now in 40 some years. I don't mind flying out of NIA if it's domestic, because I fly from Cebu to NIA, and from NIA to Dumaguete. So I don't mind that. I just don't know if I'd want to do it international. I hear that's a madhouse. Uh, but I flew directly into Cebu when I came here. The guy that I feel that I used to work with, that's retiring here real soon, uh, he's going to fly directly into Cebu. Uh, and he's staying at the same hotel I stayed at the first time, because they pick you up. They come and pick you up, and they'll pick you up at night. You just let them know when you're coming in, what your flight number is, what time to expect you, and they'll be there waiting on you. They pick you up, take you back to the hotel. You check in, get a good night's sleep, take a day to recuperate a little bit, and maybe get out and walk around a little bit like I did. And then you book like 2 nights, one full day, 2 nights. You're paying for 2 full days, but you're only staying one full day because you're getting in at about 10 o'clock at night. It's going to get in around that time himself. And then you go to your next place, which is what he's doing. He'll go to his next place. I think he's got 2 weeks. He's going to stay there, and then he's going to start looking for a place to move into. Now he's looking, like I said, he's looking for a studio. And And I've seen some studios that he can afford, and they're nice studios. They are nice. Uh, uh, Tim, it could be. Like I said, I've never went through the international, but I enjoyed the. Remember, I'm flying in. I'm not driving in. I enjoyed the domestic side. I've been there well twice. When I went to the Dumaguete, when I came back to Cebu, and it was nice. It was easy. Uh, so it's pretty good. Uh, so I expected to be the same thing this time. I expected to be decent. Uh, Now I do fly uh, premium economy or better, so they do have the break rooms that you can go sit down in. They got food in there. I mean, it's not really a meal. They do have some soup, so I guess you could make a meal out of it. But they have fruit. They have different drinks that you can have. Uh, there are some pastries and stuff like that. So there are things you can do. And like I said, I don't like economy. It's just I'm too fat for regular economy. I'm sitting on the buckle. I did that when I flew in. It's the last time I'm flying regular economy. I'll fly premium. It's just a little bit bigger, not a lot, but the seat is just a little bit bigger, and that little bit is enough that I'm comfortable. I shouldn't say comfortable. I'm all right. I'm not uncomfortable. Uh, so yeah, I guess you'd say comfortable. Okay. I'm flying business class from Cebu to Dumaguete, to Cebu to NIA, then premium economy from, because they don't have business class, flying from NIA to Dumaguete. And then I'm flying business class back to NIA, and then NIA again business class to Cebu. Diosa, how you doing, Diosa? Thanks for coming. Oh, come on, man! I'm gonna rub your leg. Put my hand over there and just start rubbing that leg. No, 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 no. I always get the aisle seat right at the very front of the section. Uh, 'Cause a lot of people don't like that front set right up front. I like being right up front. So far, every time I've flown, I've not had somebody sitting next to me. I've had the seats been empty. I sat in one premium economy. It was because they had business class in this one. The premium economy, I sat right behind the business class. I had two on one side, two on the other, and three in the middle. I was in the middle because the outsides were taken, and nobody else was in the middle row. So I sat in the very middle seat, even though I had an aisle seat, so I could stretch out my legs and not worry about being in the way of the stewardess, or the stewards, or the stewardess, the flight attendants, probably a better term, and very comfortable compared to having somebody next to you. Because there you gotta watch how you have your feet. Like you said, you know, you gotta watch how you spread your feet out. You don't want to infringe on the other person. Business class, you don't have to worry about that. You got plenty of room. Uh, so I do like business class. But that costs you. And I figured if we're going this time of year, I'll take business. Uh, Next time I'll probably just take premium economy all the way if I have to fly. I don't know, I may not. I would love to. Now, next time I hope to just take a ferry. Probably the fast ferry. Pay to set up on top in the air and you got a better view of everything. That'd be nice. Well, I don't like sitting in the middle if there's other people. Uh, as a diabetic, occasionally, now here recently I haven't had to because I try not to drink anything. And the flights are only about an hour, but sometimes I have to get up and go to the bathroom more often than I like. Because that's how you get rid of the sugar. You urinate a little more. So, oh, so you like first class. You don't want business class. You want first class, don't you, Tim? I wish I could fly that way. Especially if I could plug in my CPAP on those long flights back to the States. Plug in my CPAP, lay flat, and sleep. I don't know. Excuse me, Pete. Excuse me, everyone. I'm a little tired. Did not sleep much at all last night. I slept quite a bit yesterday before I went out. But I haven't slept much since then. So, anyway. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. I got to figure out how much this is going to cost, uh, how often I have to see the dentist while I'm doing it. Is it every other month? Or is it for 1 month that you got to go like now, then go back another month, and then you can go a couple months? All that will affect where I want to live, and how long I have to stay here when I visit with the dentist. If it's only like, well, I come in and see him that one day, then I'm done for another couple months. Well, I might go ahead and just move to Dumagetti. I don't know. But so that's the things I'm looking at. So like I said, I'd like to be able to travel, but I have to really cut back on what I'm spending. Uh, Dumagetti would help me do that. Like I said, I could probably save a couple hundred a month, maybe more. Depends on what kind of place I can find just on rent. Travel, well, the trucks are a whole lot cheaper than the Grabs here. So I can save money on travel. Uh, Food probably depends on what I eat. But it'd probably be close to the same. I never noticed anything really outrageous unless I was in even in the really nice restaurants. Uh, I could get by with less than uh, $6, $7 plus the tip. I could probably get by on not six. Excuse me, $10 plus counting the tip, maybe a little over. Uh, Depends on what I ate. They had the restaurant that's in the hotel, they had a wide variety of stuff that you could order, which meant there was a wide variety of cost. Uh, they had a creamy potato salad with bacon in it. It was actually pretty good. Like I said, it's not as good as my mama made. A lot more creamier than I'm used to, but it's still pretty good. I had it more than once, and I'll have it more than once when I go back. Uh, but it's all going to depend on what's going on, and we're trying to get that figured out. But we can't get that figured out until we see green apple again. Cause I had the teeth removed, and I had the two teeth that were broken off with the gums. I had to have them cut out, and then I had to have a bone graft. And so they wanted to let that heal up for 6 months, and then we go back and have them check things out, and then discuss where we go from there. And like I said, with me, what I'm looking at, if it's doable, is implants. I feel better that they won't come out while I'm eating. I don't have to take them out to eat. So we'll see. So that'll be a couple more $1,000. I do have the money, so I mean it's not that I don't. But how much, is it just a couple thousand or is it 5,000? I think it's just a couple thousand more because of all the work we've already had done. And so we'll see. And I really am leaning that way. Because I don't find it comfortable. I find it affects my speech. And Tim, if you can do it, God bless you. If I get a permanent visa and I can save that kind of money, you better believe I'll go back and visit. I got friends I would like to see again, and my family. I just don't know if I'll ever be able to afford it. Because I won't take economy. I'm not flying economy again. Ain't happening. And I don't know how much business class would cost me to go back to the States. I would probably, if I could, fly back into Albany. That's where my friends are at. And then I'd have to decide whether or not to rent a car, which I'd probably have to rent a car for a couple of weeks, for however long I'm going to be back there. Because I'd visit with my friend for a while, and then I'd go back to Indiana and visit. So I'd have to have a bit of change myself, be able to stay at places. So I used to stay at my sister's, but she's at a assisted living place now, which she needed it. And my niece is now living in that house with her daughter, and I would not put them out by having them have to, put up their Uncle Larry. So I'd have to have the money for the hotels there as well. So like I said, yeah, I'd have to have outside the plane ticket, I'd have to probably have at least 5,000. Now, in the old days, I just hell to hell with it, put it on the card and I'll pay it off. No. You gotta have the cash. gotta have cash for. The credit cards are paid off if I use them every month. Because if I really run into a real medical emergency, I believe I have enough money to cover it with my credit cards. If I don't with cash, so that's why you got to keep those cards available. You can use them, but you can't build it up. You got to pay it off every month. Because I don't put that much on it that if it happens during the month when I've got money on there, I still got a lot of cash on the credit cards that I can put up. So that's something I got to pay attention to. Well, Tim, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know if I could go that often. Like I said, you've got a really good deal in your house, but you also have more money coming in than I do, I believe. And it depends on how much other travel I do. If I'm traveling around the Philippines, I won't have as much money to travel back to the States. So maybe I'll start a separate pool of money towards saving for that travel expense. Maybe I can do it every 3 years. And we'll see. No, it's not. No, it's not. I flew economy all the way. And I got a decent price. 'Cause I bought it well in advance. I got economy. I got one way. I got round trip. You get almost double the price for economy, and I'm not flying economy again. I think I've mentioned that enough times. But like I said, I probably I could probably fly premium economy, although I would prefer business class, and so that would be expensive. Well, depends on when you buy your tickets, Coin. The farther out you buy them, the cheaper it is. Uh, but all right, Tim, you have a good one, man. I may lay down and try to take a nap myself. Like I said, I didn't sleep well last night, but I had this live stream scheduled, so I was going to keep it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is going to be the truth as well. I'm not going to sleep well Tuesday night into Wednesday morning because I'm going to be nervous about getting up because I got to get up early. And oh, okay, I understand that. Then I'm sorry, Tim. But I got to get up. I got to leave. I'm got a grab scheduled for 6:45 a.m. They want you there about 2 hours before you. Hey, I'm going to tell you the truth, Coin. I'm thinking about going back to bed. I did not sleep well last night. But I won't do that until after I end the stream. I probably won't even do it right away. But yeah, so it's yeah. If I went back, Tim, I would want business class. I don't think I could afford first class, even if I bought the tickets months out in advance. I bought my tickets in December, and I didn't fly out till May. so that's why I got the kind of deal I got. If I waited, if I waited just one more day, the prices went way up. So I left as late as I could leave and get the price I got. Because it gave me more time visiting with the family and friends. And so that's what I did. I should have probably tried to get premium economy, but I'll never fly economy, no. And if I probably will fly business when I go back, if I ever go back. I'll spend the extra money. I don't, if I could, I'd go first class. Believe me. That laying flat, and I think they have places where I could plug in my CPAP, so I could lay flat and sleep part of that trip. That would be greatly beneficial. That really would be very beneficial. I don't know if you, on international flights, if you can plug in a CPAP on business class, because you can lay back pretty good. I think I could lay back enough to go to sleep if I had my CPAP. I don't know if the sleep would be as good as laying flat, but if I could sleep, I could sleep. And believe me, that's what I would do. I'd take a nap. Hopefully like a 10-hour nap. Or however long the flight is. You know, last time I flew into Japan, then I flew here. And now, what is the incognito mode? They don't know who you are or what? I don't know how to use that. Oh, do they? They have blue flat seats. Guess what I'm flying? Keep first class. I'll take business class if I can plug in my CPAP. Because if I can't plug in my CPAP, laying flat won't do me any good. I got to be at an angle. Told you, sorry folks, I told you I didn't sleep. I got almost no sleep at all last night. If I slept an hour, I did well. I was in bed for about 3 hours, but I didn't sleep that much. Let's see what my watch says I got. Well, I called nap, so I guess I got 2 hours. I got 2 hours of sleep last night, according to my watch. It wasn't much, let me tell you. But yeah. Incognito doesn't show up so you can get better prices. But how do you look incognito? I mean, you're saying they don't know who you are, so you can get a better price. I understand that. But how do you do it? I've never gone incognito. But I know if you, the farther out, if you can do it 3, 4, or 5 months out, you save some money too, usually. Unless it's the busy season. But so, hey everyone, I am getting kind of tired. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this one. I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope you all have a great day, the rest of your weekend, and I hope you have a great week. Tim, I hope everything dries up so your girlfriend can fly out to Manila and get that medical work done that she needs. All right, I have to check it out. Go to Google and do that sometime. Next time I want to fly. And so anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. I've been going over 2 hours, and like I said I am tired, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one. And I may do one next Saturday. If I do, it'll be probably through YouTube and not through StreamYard, because I'll be using my phone if I do it. I'll have to see how that works out. So I may try it, but it'll be in the evening on Sunday if I do it, instead of a Sunday morning, because I plan on going to the Sunday market again in Valencia. I really enjoyed that. I may have to hire someone to take me up there, but that's okay. So, all right, everybody, take care. Be kind to each other. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Plus, have fun. Bye now.